What's going on, everybody? We're back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republics, Wrestling Off the Air. We're fresh off of another episode of NXT, and I'm accompanied by the usual suspects. We've got Shad over there. Well, I just pointed at Dryzzy. We got Shad over there in the Bex shirt. We got Dryzzy over there in the Black Women Matter shirt. How are you, Dryzzy? How are you, Shad? What's going on this fine Tuesday evening?
You wanna go first, Drizzy?
Hey, Miss Parker. How you doing? Can I come over for some milk and cookies?
She did look good. She looked good in this one tonight. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
We live, man. I'm doing good though, bro. Hey, women's wrestling is winning tonight, and they winning next week too.
Absolutely. We got Bobby Petito already in the comments, by the way. We got to shout him out with Kia Saint wrestled against Ivy Nile on NXT Level Up last Friday. Thank you for the NXT Level Up update, Bobby. She's the newcomer in the NXT Women's Division. Love it. I'm with you there. Let's get right into the breakout tourney matches, though. Let's talk about those. We had, speaking of Miss Parker, Drizzy, we had Jada Parker versus Carmen Petrovic. Petrovic. However you'd like to say it. I mean, maybe a Lana knockoff. I don't know. I saw a little bit of that
She
shot.
looked like she
I
drinks
didn't
white
mention
Russian.
that when we were off the air because I just didn't want to. I wanted to save the reaction.
She a Mortal Kombat character. What you mean?
It's karate times Lana equals Petrovic. That's all I'm saying.
I call her Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman. Ooh, Kill Bill.
Kill Bill.
Respect. Respects on Kill Bill. But Miss Parker was in this match as well. She did take the loss. What'd you think of this one, Drizzy? Talk to me, Drizzy.
If you came to this match looking for a 5-star classic, no, you're not going to get that. If you look at any of these women's breakout tournaments looking for a 5-star classic main eventer right off the bat, that is not what this is for. This is like looking for that rough piece of coal that in a year's time will become a diamond in your women's division. All these women right now, rough pieces of coal. Now, Jada Parker, and I'm going to say our second match, the two strongest characters in this tournament, Jada Parker and Ariana Grace. Those two are the closest pieces of coal that are so close to becoming diamonds. And I'm telling you, a year from now, all 8 of these women, well, I'm gonna say 9 because as we found out earlier tonight, Jakara Jackson is injured and was not able to participate. But those 9 women are going to be your centerpieces in the women's division. The division looks great. This tournament, I kind of hope I kind of wish that they would like kind of do like a before and after with these tournaments. Like they have this tournament now, and then maybe 6 months down the line, let's redo the tournament. Winner gets a shot at a title, something like that. Um, I have no quarrels, no real critiques with the Jada Parker Uma Thurman match. I only call her Uma Thurman because I can't say her name. I would literally have to practice it a few times before I get it.
I gotcha.
They both have great things, the great building blocks to start off of. I I absolutely believe that I'm gonna try it. Petrovic is not gonna have that gimmick later on next year. This time next year, she will not have that gimmick. But that's this what you're in NXT for, to build. And I think we have some great building blocks with these women.
I 100% agree, but hang on 1 second. Hold the phone. We have in the comment section here something that I just cannot quite pass over because I feel very similar. Bobby Petito, his favorite, Carmen Petrovic, however you like to say it. I'm with you, Bobby. she impressed me tonight. Showed me something. Drizzy, I think you're absolutely right. Jada Parker has an absolute future in NXT and beyond. I think there's no doubt about that. Petrovic, I'm interested in, very interested in. I thought her presentation was fascinating. I thought the match was what is expected in a breakout tournament, right? They're both young, new, fresh performers.
Yep.
Shad, I want to know your thoughts on the future for both, and then we'll get into the next half of the breakout tournament matches we saw on today's show.
All right, so first match breakout tournament. I thought I share a lot of similar thoughts as Drizzy in this, where it's a breakout tournament. We can't. You got to lower the scale of what you're expecting in these matches. These are people who are brand spanking new into the wrestling business. A lot of these women are not even from the indie wrestling world. They're from different walks of life. They mentioned that Carmen Petrovic is a former, mixed martial arts black belt, all of that. And then Jada Parker is I believe, some sort of athlete prior to it. So you can't expect, you're not about to get some 5-star match out of it. But I'm looking at character work obviously into this, and presentation wise, Jada Parker has a lot of positive potential. You start from the music was really good. The the entrance of her kind of just mouthing off to the camera, slapping in the camera, panning out to the side, the little promo package of her kind of telling us about herself, a lot of confidence, like a lot of confidence, just owning the vignette portion of it and letting us get drawn in and engaged to who this character is going to be. I think she knocked it off the park. Knocked it out the park. In ring, I think there's some stuff that you got to fine tune with her. I would rather see her move like a dominant, strong, heavy. She has a lot of athleticism and strength to her, and I think she definitely has a lot of potential. Carmen Petrovic, you know, I like the gimmick. I think that's the thing that she has going for her. She's got a unique gimmick. She's got a sword. Word to Drew McIntyre. She's got a sword, but
Samurai sword.
she's got a different move set. They're trying to, I think you kind of got to lean in a little bit more to the mixed martial arts style. Obviously, I know we have uh Lola Vice, who is a lot better at it than her in ring wise, but you kind of can, lean into it a little bit more. She'll eventually get better within more reps. But yeah, I thought it was solid, man. I think it was a good representation for him. I kind of wanted Jada Parker to win though. Um, but we'll see what happens. Maybe it's kind of how the tournament plays off, because I see the potential in her, and I think the fact that she's able to captivate a character and it being NXT, I think she's gonna kind of hit the road, and start rolling with it a lot faster in this promotion. So we'll wait and see. I mean, it's kind of a give or take thing. And one last point to that, you gotta love these things, because the last breakout tournament, you see what Tiffany Stratton's doing, Fallon Henley, Tatum Paxley, like they were green initially and they developed too. So I expect it to be for these women as well.
No doubt, and I think you made a great point there, and I think to your point about Jada Parker, and I understand where you're coming from on what you said about not wishing necessarily, but like would have liked to have seen her win as opposed to maybe Petrovic or Petrovich, however we decide we're going to pronounce this in the long run when we're just doing it casually. But I think Jada Parker is the performer, the woman, the athlete that we see from this tournament that may not win the tournament, but down the road we go, oh yeah, remember when we saw her on that Tuesday night against Carmen, right?
Yep.
And I think logically speaking, her future is so bright she almost doesn't need this tournament win.
Historically, the way these breakout tournaments work, the ones with the stronger characters almost never win. We've had one case. Well, actually, I can't even say it was one case because Roxanne, although she was more seasoned than a lot of the other ones, she wasn't the strongest character in that tournament. That's where you had the Lash Legends and Nikita Lyons. I think in Carmelo Hayes's the one he won, you had Cameron Grimes, Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, who all
Odyssey Jones.
Odyssey Jones, all characters way bigger than what he was at that point in time. Even the first one with Jordan Miles, he wasn't the strongest character in that. But
Absolutely.
so it's just because you're the strongest character, which we're about to talk about, who hands down probably is the strongest character in this tournament, doesn't necessarily mean that your lights are dim, that you're not gonna go anywhere. If anything, it just means that they have more faith in you going forward, that you don't need this tournament.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before we do move on, let's show some comments here and shout out. I know the drill now. We got Big Fern in the comments. What's going on, Big Shotty? Yes, sir. Good to see you, Fern, as
boy.
usual. Thank you for tuning in. And then we've also got Haseen Terrell with hi there. How y'all feeling tonight? We are feeling really good. At least I am. I don't know how you guys doing.
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good.
I'm a little depressed.
Absolutely, I hear you there. I hear you
I
there.
kind of feel that too, but I mean, I'm good for the team.
Ain't no Miss Jackson, Miss Parker lost. I'm just bad. I am down.
Down in the dumps. I totally hear you. Bobby
Lola Vice might still win it though, bro.
Bobby Petito in
We
the
do got
comments reminding us this is only Jada Parker's first match on television. She only had matches on the NXT house shows before. Thank you, Bobby, as usual.
My man got all the
all the Snapple facts.
Our facts and info friend Bobby Daldis once again. This is my favorite comment.
Salute. I didn't know that.
Because this
Bobby
is something that we
only
on.
thing I know about Jada Parker is that when they trademarked her name, everyone was like, oh, is that gonna be Jade's name? No, dummies. No. It's not.
No. Yeah.
Stay out the dirt sheets.
Well,
they're making y'all look goofy.
We got one more from Bobby.
As my girl Mercedes Monet says, those
this
fictional
is one
stories.
I think all three of us can agree on, though, guys. We need Nikita Lyons back in the ring soon.
I think one person says that, and that's you.
Well, hey, I'm just saying. Team Nikita Lyons, huge fan. Shout out Nikita. Anyway, with that, let's talk Ariana Grace versus Brynn Lee. It was the other match in the tournament. Shad, break this one down for me. Talk to me about it. Let me know what you think.
She is her daddy's girl, and that is her auntie's niece, bro. Santino and Santina should be proud right now. This girl got the character down pat. Like her comedic timing and the humor to her pageant queen character is so good. She's got the best character out of this tournament. The match itself, it wasn't a lot to really talk about. It was probably the weaker match out of the two matches. But I mean, Ariana Grace has a lot of like charisma, and just the character work is really good. She's a very good, like, you can tell she's probably done some sort of like actress work in the past, and her dad probably distilled that within her. So I really liked it a lot in regards to her. And I mean, we were talking about it earlier. Like, you need characters like this in the WWE. We have a Miss Chelsea Green who's a tag team champion. Kind of like, I feel like that's kind of where the trajectory for her is. Not bad in the ring. Very enthusiastic, can play different roles if you need to, and can handle that comedy character well. I can see her flourish in that, just like how Chelsea Green is. Like we were saying there earlier, like you got to get yourself TV time. If you can get yourself TV time by being funny, you're gonna get booked every week, and you can lose. Like she can probably lose matches, but she's gonna act funny and act a fool within it, and we're gonna want to see it happen. And she's got herself a nice little role in the WWE for years to come. I see the potential with her. And then Brinley,
Reese.
she's here.
She's here. I love what you said about the character work. I'm
Sorry,
gonna toss
Brinley.
it. I'm gonna
Sorry,
toss it to
Brinley.
you, Drizzy. What did
She
you
has
think about this match? How did you feel about Brinley? If you have anything positive to say, let's try to stay as positive as possible.
My bad, bro.
I don't okay, so we had a good month to get acclimated with the women that were going to be in this tournament. Brinley is serving as an alternate. We don't get to see you don't get to see alternates whenever they're rotating against somebody. So she's kind of batting. She's like below where we would normally be at with certain people. So it's kind of not fair to sit there and just say she's not important or anything. But she did show she can go in this ring. She was the number 9 for a reason. I do think her look is a little bit too much Soul Ruka and a little too 80s, if it makes sense. Because we live in a world where everybody's doing TikTok dances, they're doing workouts online with other people. You don't have too many fitness trainers on social media telling people what to do. So it kind of feels out of place. It is a character though. I applaud it. I guarantee she won't have that character later. Like a lot of these people are not going to have these characters later on in their career. I, Ariana Grace, and Jada Parker definitely will. They'll just build upon it. Ariana Grace, hands down, the strongest character in this tournament. I absolutely adore how comedic it is, but she still comes off as a bit of a threat. It's not completely hapless, can't do anything, can't amount any type of offense. She still has a killer instinct. She has that that background of, and she ain't doing the Cobra. She has that background that she can win matches on her own merit. No funny business, no nefarious means or anything, because she won that match clean. She did get a little bit rough toward the end of it, but you have to. This is a women's division that from top to bottom is stacked. And if you're not willing to get dirty with the best of them, they will run you over.
100%. And one thing I do have to mention is in the comments, right on it, right about the exact same time you mentioned Sol Ruka, our good friend Bobby Petito with Brinley looks like Sol Ruka.
Soul Ruka's a beast, though.
I mean, the timing is absolutely impeccable there, though.
She
That
is.
was outstanding.
Now,
I
if
just
So true.
my bad.
I
What
will
you saying?
say, I will say, if they do work on do no, I don't know where we are with Sol Ruka's return date or anytime soon. If they were to maybe pair them together in the female Dusty's Classic, I don't think it's a bad mix
She
match.
got, but Soul Ruka's her tag team partner Danny Palmer.
The
The
no,
other
that's Tatum
one,
Paxley.
she
I was thinking of Tatum Paxley, but yeah, no.
yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I didn't mean to.
Like,
I didn't mean to bury her, man. My bad.
no, it's not. No, it's
By the
very.
way, with that, let's leave the breakout version part of the roster and head over to the actual NXT women's roster and talk about Tegan Knox and Lyra Valkyrie.
Yes, let's talk about it. I love that
And
match a
let's
lot.
talk about it. Okay, Sean, I'm tossing it straight to you. Tell me all about it.
Dude, Lara Valkyrie is arguably like she I mentioned it a few weeks ago, and I think she's put herself in position as one of the top women in the NXT roster. This was a very good match, hard hitting, methodical in the beginning. Like they were really like wrestling and they really laying this stuff in. good to see Tegan Knox back on our television on NXT as well, and just being positioned in more storylines. Like that's a W within itself. And we talked about it earlier. Like towards the end of the match, I really like this blending of NXT, Raw, SmackDown. Like everything kind of just meshing together, and Tegan being a prime person on Raw, having a tag team feud with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, being a teammate with Natalia, having Natalia there on their side, and obviously that being the way to get her to lose, and keeping her strong in a sense and building that feud and helping Lyra get the win. I liked all of it. I thought it was a solid way to end the match, and I mean we're building and making Lyra look stronger and stronger, and like we got to talk about the year she's having, man. Like she had an incredible feud with Rhea Ripley. I still think she gave Rhea Ripley her best title match out of any woman besides like Charlotte Flair this year. Like I really like that match, and I really like the feud that got built into it. And now we have this Miyagi versus Danielson feud between her and Becky Lynch. We had Becky talk on a big screen telling her like you got to be on your A game. All the you were looking up to me, you got to throw that out the window because I'm better than you and I'm gonna give it my all. You got to tap into a different bag. And you heard the fiery promo from Lyra showing us how much this match means to her, how much just the lineage of her looking up to her idol and being in NXT. The beautiful line saying, "My goal was to be the first woman from Ireland to be an NXT Women's Champion, and you took that from me." Like, there's just a lot of positive that's going into her as a competitor. And I mean, the in ring work has always been there. She's incredibly skilled in ring, and I'm super excited for this match versus her versus Big Time Bex because I'm gonna say it again, Becky Lynch, Woman Wrestler of the Year, man. She's doing this is one of the most fun runs she's had in a while. She's really putting so many different women in position. We saw it yesterday with Xia Lee, with Indy Hartwell. We have this match with Lyra. Like it's so fun, man, and it's really putting women's wrestling in a great place in the WWE universe.
I love exactly what you said there, 100%. And this matchup with Lyra and Becky is outstanding. What did you think of the match tonight between Tegan Knox and Lyra in itself? But more importantly, the match that we're looking forward to between Becky, like Shad broke it down perfectly, Drizzy, when he said Daniel San, right, versus Mr. Miyagi. Who do you have in that one? How do you feel about it? What are your thoughts heading into it? The big one next week.
I think this definitely is going to be Lyra's biggest match of her career, and she keeps on getting to these big stages and not winning the big one. She was in the finals to crown the new women's champion when Indy left. She's been in countless big matches, and it just came to see like she just comes up so close. I don't think she can afford to not win on this stage. It's the biggest stage, and uh, who said Corbin said it best earlier. Fans sit in the stands. Lyra went from being that fan when Becky first showed up to now she's slowly like coming out of it. She had two promos tonight. One of them sounded pretty fanish, but the one at the end, that's the Lyra that needs to be there. That's the Lyra that needs to come out in that match next week against Becky. And it's also the Lyra that was in the ring with Tegan tonight. If that if that Lyra is there, I honestly do believe that Becky could be in trouble. Now, if Lyra comes and wants to be the fan, she's not gonna. You go and pack it up and count it as another short another short one. Another. I was this close. You need to stop being this close and start doing it. Stop trying and start doing. So It all depends on which Lyra wants to show up to Halloween Havoc.
Wow, I hear you there. I think that's a great point you bring up, and I think it's really, really important to note just how much there is to gain for Lyra by comparison to Becky, right? In this one, it's amazing that Becky's down. I don't want to say down here, but in NXT
She's
doing
up
this
here.
work up here. Thank you, Shad. Exactly. Right? Doing this work. This matchup is exciting as could be. I could not be more hyped to see who comes out on top. We've got a few comments though. We've got Anthony Manzano with some interesting ones here. I'm going to bring this up since we're reviewing an iced tea.
Great, damn
My
thirsty.
theory from Brian Pillman's character is he's delusional psychotrician star that's refusing to admit that he's a copy of his dad. But later on down the road, he finally gives in and he just starts adopting the loose cannon character that his father played. So I don't hate the idea, but I will say that he did not play the loose cannon character the majority of his career. Not even close.
Actually, I don't think we got a good chance to see the loose cannon because
the loose cannon character, he passed away basically before that run became anything. That was about I want to say like a 14-month stretch at most.
About.
While I understand, I like the idea as far as for Brian Pillman Jr.'s character. In some sense, I do think it's pretty obvious he's already loose cannon, and the loose cannon would be one step ahead of that, if that makes any sense. That was what made that character so great in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So, if he's truly playing the loose cannon, he'll never accept that it's the same character that his dad played.
Right.
He would never, the loose cannon, right? That character would never admit, no matter it even if it was, right, his son playing the same version of the character. I can't fathom a scenario where that character would admit that it was like a knockoff or a callback or a right. It would always be denial, even if it was ever brought up in storyline. But it's very clearly, in my eyes, the loose cannon. What do you guys think, Shad and Dryzzy? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, in regards to his character work, I think you got to kind of compare it to like how Braun is in a sense, right? Like, I feel that they're starting him off the right way in retrospective to the wrong way initially how it was
Braun
for
Breaker,
Braun.
not Strowman, right?
No, Braun Breaker, yeah. How
Yeah,
obviously
just
he's
to be clear.
paying. No, not Braun Strowman. Sorry, but no,
I
you know
know, I know.
how Breaker, obviously him being a Steiner and having ties to it, and them just trying to really lean heavy on the aesthetic, the ring gear, and everything. Where I think it's been beneficial for him to kind of have more of the darker heel side to it. And I think you play off of a lot of reality with Brian Pillman Jr. Obviously, maybe expressing a lot of real emotions that he has towards his father. Him passing away when he was very young and not really having a father in his life.
Wild.
And we see a lot of we know his life obviously from the whole Dark Side documentary, and I like it. It has me intrigued. Like, I don't know, man. It kind of gave me like he kind of had a little bit of a Raven vibe
He did. You
with the
mentioned
aesthetic and the
Scott Levy,
yeah,
one of my all-time faves.
right. And I think they can really lean into it because they do a good job with production in regards to creating vignettes, and I think it adds a completely different element that we've seen from him as of recently.
I 100% agree. Drizzy, what do you think about the future on the Pillman Jr. character in NXT? Do you think he's got to be just going full loose cannon at this point, right?
He's in a unique space because we said it was maybe a year or so of the actual loose cannon in WWE. We didn't even get to scratch the surface of it.
Right.
He actually has the ability to not only scratch the surface of it, but take the character and make it his own. That's something that I don't think too many others can really do. You have like Charlotte who was able to do it to a certain extent. Even Braun Breaker, who is the perfect comparison for this, he's the perfect combination of what his dad and what his uncle were as heel wrestlers.
The Rock.
Um, yes, The Rock too. It's just they all were able to make the characters their own. It's like I said, it's a unique situation. I would like to see Loose Cannon, but his own take on Loose Cannon.
Yes.
But that's also the wrestling historian in me. If he finds something else that might absolutely work, I'm all for it. I'm a fan of Brian Pillman Jr. as a in-ring worker. So as long as he finds his way, he's in the perfect place to do it with the perfect team around him to learn and do these things. So let's get it.
100%. I'm with you on that. And yeah, no, to be clear, I'm very pro Brian Pillman Jr. and Senior, to say the least. Huge fans, always have been, basically, of the entire loose cannon character, the whole everything that was accomplished by the Pillman family, and all the work in AEW, and stoked to see him pop up in NXT, and want him to succeed so badly, because I just think he's a good dude. I whatever. Not to get all softy on that one, but let's move on to the next one, which is Kiana James versus Shotzi, formerly known as Blackheart. But Shotzi, I'm going to toss it right back to you, Drizzy. What did you think of this one? Kiana versus Shotzi. I mean, Shotzi's still driving the tank, but it's a different Shotzi.
They do so much stuff with her on the main roster. I almost actually forgot that she wrestles. I always see her in segments, I see her in tag matches, but it's never a lot that makes me remember that, oh wait, she's a pretty hardcore wrestler. And they did the tribute to Eddie with the, oh, there's a brick in her bag. You had Roxanne Perez come out and show a brick in Kiana James's purse, which I think we all knew there was a brick in there. It's just that we didn't never wanted to allude to it. It was a good match. It was a great reminder for us to know that first off, Kiana James does exist, and outside of that tournament, well, she wasn't in a breakout tournament. I think she was just in the first class of NXT women. That she has come a long way still. That she's keeping up with main roster women, and that Shotzi can still go. And we need to get this more because other than making her sound like she's crazy, they really don't do too much with Shotzi on the main roster. Maybe we get an extended stay of her in NXT, which I really do hope because I really feel like the first time around in NXT, she didn't get a real fair shake to stay there. And next week she is this whole match was brought on more so because she and Scarlett will be hosting NXT Halloween Havoc the next 2 weeks. But I kind of want to have some more Shotzi in NXT.
Absolutely. I hear you there. I think Shotzi on NXT has always, in a weird way, been more at home than on the main roster. It's like hard to quantify, but just Shotzi does awesome work every
Yeah.
time she's on NXT. And before we move on to our main event segment, unless Shad, you have anything to add about that match?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of share the same exact thoughts. My main thing is like to kind of add on to what you said. I think that could be the case for a lot of the women on the main roster that they just initially brought up and didn't have a lot of direction for. Because Tegan, for instance, you got Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, Shotzi, maybe Zia Lee. Like, if you're not utilizing them a lot and you're not putting them in major position within matches on Raw or SmackDown, well, let them do a little bit on NXT while they're here. I think it's a good opportunity to allow the young, up and coming women wrestlers to get a chance to work with some of the best women's wrestlers on the roster in regards to like in ring and who have a lot of renowned ties to NXT, and it lets them do something as well. Because, like I mentioned earlier, this has been a blend within every roster. It feels like NXT is not. It is still technically developmental, but it still has a identity again where it is NXT. It is that collegiate level or whatever it may be, and people come back home and they can have little runs, have matches with people like how they've been doing for the men's roster. You could do it for the women's roster too. And yeah, I would like to see Shotzi have a little bit of a stake because I don't really see her a lot. Her and Bailey never had a payoff to their feud like that, I think. So let her do something, man.
I hear you on Shotzi 100% and totally agree. But with that, let's talk about our main event of the evening. And I have things to say about this one. Let's talk about our triple threat main event. But let's not gloss over the details here, my friends. That's not what we do on Off the Air. And we're not going to have it because both Drizzy and Shad, and then even my idiot brain recognized that this is Shawn Michaels Triple H. This is Shawn Triple H 101. Who hit him with the limousine? Why was Trick Williams not in this match? You must be kidding me. Cody Rhodes, what do you want to talk about? Books this match, and all of a sudden, we've got a fatal four-way, and no, it's not anymore because Trick Williams is laid out backstage. Changed everything. I do believe that the right man won this match. But shenanigans, I'm calling shenanigans. And with that, I'm going to toss it first to you, Shotty. What do you, come on. They did Trick dirty.
Yeah, they definitely did him dirty. I like it. I like Shawn Michaels continuously giving us the best of storylines that he was booked in during his time as a professional wrestler and intertwining it into NXT. We had it with the Roxanne Perez earlier this year with the fatigue. Like he does this. He's not a stranger to this. He knows that there's a lot of beauty within these storylines, and this is a very common base one that can be used time after time after time. And us knowing Sean and knowing that relationship with Trick and Mello, it feels right. And it kind of adds the right wrinkle to this storyline, in my opinion, because we're going to get the payoff to Trick versus Mello. Maybe Mello gets that title off of Dragunov, and maybe we see what happens, but we are going to see the footage of Mello eventually doing this crime, this unjustified action to my man Trick Williams, and there's gonna be a payoff to it, man. Whether it's for a title or not, I love it, and it's gonna benefit Trick Williams so much. You're gonna see this person that is very over at the moment, who is a baby face to this crowd. When we find out the truth of it, and hopefully the rightful thing to do, letting Trick Williams get that win, if this is the storyline, you are going to get a major superstar and a major baby face out of Trick Williams with this storyline. I like it a lot. I do agree. I think the right person did win tonight. I thought the triple threat match was phenomenal. You have a match with Dijak, Carmelo Hayes, Baron Corbin. You're not going to go wrong. Great way to end off the night.
100%. I'm with you. We've got a bunch of comments, and I'm stoked to toss this over to Drizzy too to talk about because, Anthony Manzano, I really do appreciate you calling us wrestling historians here as wrestling historians like you guys are. Do you guys feel like the Raven character was ahead of its time when it came out?
You
Absolutely.
You calling me old?
100% though, we do. I would say yes there. Now, what I find fascinating is another comment from Anthony Manzano. It's obvious who did it. It was Dijak. And then again, I don't think it's Mello from Anthony Manzano. This is Michael's Triple H in my eyes. Drizzy, do you disagree? Do you see anything different on this storyline? Otherwise, why is Mello wearing the leather jacket like he's Triple H?
That leather jacket is symbolic on so many different levels. Because not only did Triple H wear the leather jacket when he turned on Shawn Michaels wore that leather jacket when he turned on Marty Jannetty in God knows how long ago in the way before times of wrestling.
The land before time.
This is textbook Shawn Michaels Triple H 2020 2002 2002, I believe, SummerSlam.
Yes.
The build for that. We are
Unsanctioned.
living, yes, we are living in the times of Shawn Michaels and Triple H through Mello and Trick. Now there may be a little few extra turns here just to keep up with the times, and there can't be as much blood as there was in that feud. But this is that feud. The seeds have been planted. You saw when they had the standoff with Corbin and Dijak. Mello kind of eyeballed Trick and was gonna handle him, but he's like, no, this isn't the time to do it. This isn't the place to do it. I appreciate this story, and I am truly here as a fan now. I'm not even gonna try to predict anything for it. I absolutely adore when they do stories that take more than one pay-per-view cycle to truly tell. So, out of respect for it, I want to just enjoy it because it's hard in wrestling today. It's hard to get storylines that are captivating, that are different. I'm not even gonna say different because it's almost impossible to find anything original in wrestling anymore. We've been doing it for what wrestling's been around for what almost centuries now. So it's almost everything has been done. But when you find a way to put a fresh spin on something like this, you definitely will capture everybody. And I believe that this is going to capture everybody.
I could not agree more. And I think the brilliance here is Carmelo Hayes has been the one we've compared to Shawn all along.
Yep.
Right? Trick Williams is the bigger wrestler, as Triple H was. When Shawn returned for the storyline that we're talking about, the parallels that we see in this one. But they flipped the script in the most brilliant way possible. And so the possibilities are endless. It doesn't have to end up the exact same way. Anthony Manzano's got a great comment here. Honestly, if it is Carmelo, I think they're setting up 3 stages instead of an unsanctioned match. No problem with that. There's history there. Michael's Triple H. There's just still the parallels
I
and the
believe
storytelling.
I believe that was actually the blow off.
Yeah.
The 3
It
stages
was.
of hell.
To be
was.
completely honest, it was at I believe it was not Armageddon. It was
Bad blood.
no, not Bad Blood was the LNSL. That was it wasn't Bad Blood. It was and it wasn't Armageddon. It was maybe it was Armageddon. Um
Talking, I'm gonna look it up.
Bobby Petito, please.
Was it SummerSlam?
You always have us on this stuff.
SummerSlam started it.
When was the
Oh, my
3
bad. I'm
stages
tripping.
match
But talk,
between
I'm gonna look
Shawn and
it up.
Triple H?
Keep it going, and I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. But I do believe that this is leading to something like that. I will say that the unsanctioned match in my eyes was the better match of the 2, almost without question.
Was this Survivor Series?
No, it wasn't Survivor Series. It wasn't Unforgiven.
It
Maybe
started.
Unforgiven.
It started in Vengeance 2022, 2002.
They fought a
The
couple times that year.
unsanctioned match was at SummerSlam of
SummerSlam.
02.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
And then there was the
Survivor Series was the
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
That was when Michaels won in the brown pants.
Armageddon was a title match. The Royal Rumble was a title match,
It was Armageddon. I called it the first time.
and Bad Blood.
It was
the-
Armageddon
It was
2002.
Armageddon 02. I got it right.
No,
I doubted myself.
no,
No?
it's Bad Blood. The 3 Stages of Hell was the first match. I think. Let's see, where was it? It was.
It's Bad Blood? No, it's Armageddon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Manzano says it's Armageddon 02.
What I'm looking at right now, because it says that Bad Blood. It says that Armageddon, where was a title match. There was a title match at Armageddon, but it wasn't the 3 Stages of Hell match.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
a ladder match.
Might have
It
to
was a
talk about this on Throwback Thursday one day, man.
Yeah,
Either way, we got to get back into this.
Yeah.
I mean, is that the end of the show, guys?
It was, we covered it all, man. Battle Royal, the tag match, by the way, we getting Chase
See
U versus.
you.
But
Chase you.
nah, man, dope.
Hey,
Good,
you.
good episode tonight, man. I gotta say one last thing, man. Salute to them giving all these women's matches, man. We got 5 next week. We have 4 tonight. They killing it, man. I really in a place
agree.
where a lot of main roster shows on their own program, AEW, whatever, that don't put a lot of women's matches, to have the whole entire show damn near be women's matches. Kudos to y'all, man.
100%.
NXT.
I love it. On behalf of me, Clark, Shad, and Dryzzy, if you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do. It helps us out immensely. Tune in every Tuesday night. We will be back every week immediately following NXT. We also will follow the pay-per-views too. We do that as well. So tune in for that. Check out the daily broadcast. Check out Take It to the Table. Check out everything that we bring to the table. And we'll talk to you guys next Tuesday. Have a good one. Thank you so much.
Get well soon, Jakara.